It began on a cold December night in 2016. Snow drifted softly over the quiet campus of the University of Franche-Comté in Besançon, France. Inside one of the student dorms lived a bright Japanese exchange student, Narumi Kurosaki, only 21 years old, full of laughter, dreams, and hope. She had come to France to study French culture and language, never imagining that this foreign land would become her final resting place. Those who met her remembered her kindness, a girl who loved green tea, anime, and soft music. But beneath the calm skies of Besançon, a dark shadow was waiting. That night, Narumi was seen smiling, chatting online, and returning to her dorm after dinner. She never appeared again. Hours later, students heard muffled screams echoing from her building, a sound quickly swallowed by the cold wind. The next morning, her bed was empty. Her phone was off. Her ID, laptop, and clothes were gone. And by the time police entered her room, they knew something terrible had happened. This is the story of how love turned into obsession, how silence hid the truth, and how one girl's disappearance would haunt two nations, France and Japan, forever. When Narumi first arrived in France, life felt like a movie. She explored the charming streets of Besançon with her camera, capturing every old building, every smile, every ray of sunlight. Her friends adored her. She was cheerful and polite, the kind of person who made others feel lighter just by being around. But among her many messages and photos was one name that appeared often, Nicolas Zepeda, her ex-boyfriend from Chile. Narumi and Nicolas had met during her time studying in Japan. He was charming, intelligent, and deeply attached, perhaps too attached. When Narumi ended the relationship, Nicolas didn't take it well. He wrote long emotional posts online, promising that he would never let her go. "You are mine forever," one message read. Most thought it was heartbreak. No one realized it was a warning. When Narumi moved to France, she tried to start fresh. But Nicolas couldn't let go. He tracked her new life online, following her every update. He learned the city she lived in, the friends she made, even her dorm address. What Narumi didn't know was that he was already planning a trip, not for love, but for revenge. On December 3rd, 2016, Nicolas arrived in France. He rented a car, checked into a hotel near Besançon, and bought a small bottle of fuel. He didn't contact Narumi right away. He watched, waited. Then, that evening, he messaged her. "Can we meet one last time?" Maybe Narumi agreed out of pity or curiosity or guilt. That night, security cameras captured the two walking together toward her dorm. It was the last image of Narumi alive. Later, students in her dorm reported hearing strange noises, thumps, muffled cries. Then silence. Around 3 a.m., Nicolas was seen leaving the dorm alone. In the freezing darkness, he loaded something heavy into his car and drove off toward the Jura Mountains, a remote forested region near the Swiss border. By dawn, he was gone. 2 days later, messages appeared from Narumi's phone, claiming she had gone away with someone special. Her family thought it strange. Her friends didn't believe it. The messages didn't sound like her. And soon the truth began to unfold. Narumi hadn't written those texts at all. When Narumi's disappearance was reported, police immediately launched a search. Her mother, Taiko Kurosaki, flew from Japan to France, desperate for answers. Investigators combed through her dorm room. No signs of forced entry, no body, no blood. But under ultraviolet light they found traces, faint, invisible stains that told a silent story. Something violent had happened that night. Detectives examined Narumi's messages. The timing, tone, and grammar were off. They traced her phone's signal. It had stopped moving hours after the screams were heard. Meanwhile, security footage placed Nicolas near her dorm at the exact same time. His car was later seen traveling toward the Swiss border, stopping briefly in remote, wooded areas before disappearing into Switzerland. By the time French police confirmed his identity, Nicholas had already flown back to Chile. The digital trail led across continents, but one truth was clear. Narumi was gone, and Nicholas was the last person to see her alive. Years passed, and Narumi's family begged for justice. Chile initially refused to send Nicholas back, citing weak evidence. After all, there was no body, no confession, but the investigation continued. Interpol joined the case. Data recovered from Nicholas's car GPS showed he had traveled to several remote forest paths on the night Narumi vanished. Forensic analysis revealed suspicious traces in his rental car, soil, leaves, and faint marks consistent with cleaning agents. Finally, in 2020, after years of political and legal battles, Nicholas Zepeda was extradited to France. Cameras flashed as he stepped off the plane, calm, emotionless, perfectly dressed. His only words, "I am innocent." Behind him stood Taiko Kurosaki, holding her daughter's photo close to her heart, whispering, "Bring her home." The world watched as the stage was set for one of France's most haunting trials, a courtroom where silence would speak louder than any words. The trial began in 2022. Narumi's friends testified, describing her fear after receiving strange messages from Nicholas. One recalled Narumi whispering, "He's here. I feel like he's watching me." Prosecutors revealed chilling details, deleted texts, GPS routes, and surveillance footage. Every piece of evidence pointed to the same man. Nicholas remained composed, denying everything. "I loved Narumi," he said. "I could never hurt her." But his calmness only made the courtroom colder. When Taiko took the stand, the room fell silent. With trembling hands, she held up a photo of her daughter and asked one simple question. "Where is she?" Nicholas didn't answer. He looked away. After weeks of testimony, the jury delivered its verdict, guilty. Nicholas Zepeda was sentenced to 28 years in prison. Yet even as the gavel fell, there was no relief. No one knew where Narumi's body was. Justice had been declared, but closure remained a ghost. In the months after the trial, Nicholas appealed again, claiming innocence. He argued there was no body, no proof, no murder. But the evidence was a chain too strong to break. Still, he refused to reveal what really happened. Did he bury her, burn her, hide her in the forests of Jura? No one knew. The mountains stood silent, holding their secrets close. Taiko Kurosaki returned to Japan with nothing but memories. Every night she lit a candle beside Narumi's picture, whispering, "I'll find you." Her voice trembled, her eyes swollen, yet her determination never faded. For her, Narumi was not gone, just waiting to be found. But the world moved on, even as the mystery stayed frozen in time. For Narumi's friends, every winter brought the same ache, the feeling that somewhere under the snow, the truth still slept. Inside his cell, Nicholas Zepeda lived in silence. Some guards said he spent nights staring at the wall, murmuring to himself in Spanish. Others said he cried quietly, haunted by nightmares. He never confessed. But something in his eyes had changed. The pride gone. The fire turned cold. Perhaps guilt had finally begun to whisper in his mind. Journalists tried to interview him, but he refused every request. "Let the past die," he once said to a lawyer. But the past wouldn't die. Not when a young girl's voice still echoed through 2 nations. Every time he closed his eyes, maybe he saw her face. The moment she realized what was happening, the fear in her eyes, the sound of her last breath. The silence became his punishment. A silence that mirrored the same one he had given the world. The silence of truth. Narumi's disappearance changed how universities treated international students. Safety programs were improved, mental health counseling increased, and awareness about emotional abuse was taught in classrooms across Japan. Narumi saved others through her tragedy, one student said. Her story became a lesson about trust, control, and the thin line between love and obsession. Documentaries were made. Podcasts revisited the timeline. Her name trended every December as people lit candles online. Even those who never met her felt connected, as if her spirit asked them to remember her, not as a victim, but as a symbol of hope. Through pain, Narumi became eternal. Her story inspired others to speak out, to walk away from danger, to believe their instincts. Her voice may have been silenced, but her legacy roared louder than ever. Every year on December 4th, students gather at the University of Franche-Comté to honor Narumi. They light candles, place flowers, and whisper prayers in Japanese. The campus stays silent, just wind, snow, and flickering light. Some say they still feel her presence, gentle and kind, as if she's watching from beyond, smiling softly at her friends. In Japan, her mother continues to write letters to her. Hundreds of them kept in a small wooden box. "I saw a new cherry blossom tree today," one letter says. "I thought of you." These letters have never been mailed. They're messages to a daughter who never came home. Even as the years pass, Narumi's story refuses to fade. It reminds the world that justice isn't always about punishment. Sometimes it's about memory. And Narumi's memory is a flame that refuses to go out. Snow falls again over Besançon. The same streets, the same dorms, but one name still lingers in the wind. Narumi Kurosaki, the girl who came to learn, to love, and was stolen by darkness. Somewhere in the quiet corners of the Jura Mountains, her secret sleeps, untouched, unspoken. But those who loved her never stopped searching. Teiko Kurosaki stands by the river each year, flowers in hand. "I forgive you," she whispers to the wind, not because the monster deserves it, but because her heart can't hold hate forever. She closes her eyes, hoping that somehow, somewhere, her daughter feels that love. Narumi's story has no ending, because some stories never end. They live in whispers, in snowflakes, in memories that refuse to die. And that was the story of Narumi Kurosaki, the girl who vanished into silence. A story of love, obsession, and the haunting question that still echoes through the years. Where is she? If Narumi's story touched your heart, don't let her name be forgotten. Subscribe, share this video, and comment what you think really happened that night. Let's keep her memory alive, because remembering her is the only justice left. Sometimes, justice doesn't come from verdicts or prisons. It comes from never letting silence win. Stay safe, stay aware. And until next time.